Welcome to another one-shot review brought to you by the students of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm Mikey, your host, and joining me are my panelists Alec, Diego, Lexi, and Rebecca. And today we are back at it again, doing our other half of our WandaVision review. It has been a long week. it's been a long couple of weeks being proved wrong by Marvel and stuff like that with our theories. But like as you can see by my name, I just want to put it out here real quick. Matt was wrong. And he's not here today because he's a fucking coward, okay? He didn't want me to talk trash to his face.
So then is it safe to say that you were right with mostly all of your guesses?
And I was right, dude. I mean, I'll say this. I was right, but there are things that I got wrong. I'm humble. I'll admit it. All right, so we'll just go in with I guess we just go by episode, I guess we'll just start that way. All right, so we'll just talk about episode 5. And Lexi and Rebecca have the wiki because some of us forgot what happened in these episodes.
Well, you shouldn't forget because this is the best episode of the series. Hot take, maybe.
It really is I remember it. It's a pretty good episode, I'm not gonna lie.
This is what, 80s?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, this is where it like peaks because this is like where it bubbles up with all the sitcom stuff, and I feel like after this point it kind of like dies down and just becomes like generic superhero stuff as it goes on.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Well, this one was the not Brady Bunch. Is it not the Brady Bunch?
This one was Family Ties or something like that.
Family Ties? Okay, yeah. Okay. I never watched it, so I wouldn't know. Okay, yeah. It was. I remember this episode. This was the episode. I remember.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry.
This one played with the horror element, especially at the end where like she rolls the credits on him, and
that was clever shit. I like that a lot.
But that's why I'm also like, after this they kind of like drop it, so it's not as like interesting to me personally.
This is when I first thought Vision, Vision, not Paul Bettany, but Vision was very attractive when he started yelling. I don't know why.
It's the muscle suit.
The muscle suit for you. I mean.
But Mikey, we got our LGBT heroes.
Oh yeah, we did. Yes. This was the Wiccan and Billy and Tommy reveal, and they like aged up like a lot.
They did. I thought they were cute, but I think like especially when Agnes comes in, I guess from the side of the house at the very beginning, it's like kind of horrifying because she's like, I think something bad's gonna happen to me if I do screw this up.
Exactly.
That like morph they do from like 5 to 10. It's so gross.
And like what else happens?
They have like dog. Also this was like the first episode where like cause after the 4th one where like they were kind of like revealing the sword stuff like later on in the episodes. This episode was like they did sword stuff and sitcom stuff at the same time, which I think was better than just focusing on one and the other, but it's fine. But that was really cool. But didn't Sparky die? Didn't they get Sparky and like Sparky died in this one? Yeah. Sparky.
I also liked at the end of the episode when like this scene happens specifically, like Wanda's just like she has no idea what's going on. And I feel like a lot of people really didn't believe her when she said, I have no idea what's going on, but just live with it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was kind of like confirming, like, well, not confirming theories, but the theory that like she didn't really know what was happening, like how this started, and I like that. But yeah, this argument was my favorite, like one of my favorite scenes in the whole show, just because like it felt like I've never it felt kind of real. Not real, obviously for the subject matter, but like the acting was very convincing to me. Like this is an actual like couple getting into a legit argument, and I really it was pretty good acting on Bettany and Olsen's behalf.
Yeah, I just wish they didn't do that thing where they fly into the air whenever they're angry.
But we have to establish that they're superheroes, though.
That was a good scene.
Yeah.
Especially when Vision does it, because he just he zooms.
Yeah. Oh, and I also remembered that this was the episode where Vision had that ability to unlock people, to wake people.
That's right. Yeah.
Control, and we got what's his name? I think his name's S.H.I.E.L.D, who is funny as hell because he always does TikToks of people trying to spoil WandaVision, and he just it's the funniest thing. But that scene where he's just oh my gosh, she's in my head, I'm in so much pain, where's my family? And I thought it was really cool.
I think we also got this was the episode she came out of the hex or the bubble, right?
I think that's the one before.
No, it's this one.
It's this one, isn't it?
Oh, it is
where
that
they sent
one.
in, yeah, they sent in the drone that was made in the 80s, so he just sent it in, and they try to fucking shoot her.
yeah, they try to shoot a freaking missile at her,
and then it just backfires. And I think it's still kind of pointed to, oh shit, Wanda's the villain. Stop! I was gonna say this.
Oh, Christian! Shout out to Christian. Oh Lord. Okay, I'm not answering that, but.
Vishan,
yeah. But yeah, this episode was a lot. It was that her stepping up to Hayward at that episode was pretty dope. But I was okay, shit, that was pretty cool.
This is also where we got Evan Peters, right?
Yeah, where should we have a tally mark to see how many things I got right? But yeah, we get our boy Evan Peters in this, and
the fact that you called me and you were I was right, wasn't I was in the middle of class and you're I was right. What's
funny about that is when we did the first one, me and Lexi had already seen the spoilers, confirming he was in it, and we were just yeah.
Listen. We're just wild because I don't know why you guys check the leaks and stuff. Surprise yourselves. Watch it fresh.
I didn't see it.
And the leaks are surprising.
I think the only leak I saw was for the next episode, but not for this one at all. This was a really big shock.
Because I thought they were legitimately gonna go with if I didn't know that a year ago that they spawned him on set, then I wouldn't have had him believe this is him playing Quicksilver. I thought they were gonna bring Aaron Taylor Johnson back, but then I remember he didn't sign the contract, so that's why he's never coming back. But
I thoroughly screamed when he opened the door. I was it's him.
And, which is wild because people thought oh my gosh, wait, this is the actual Quicksilver, because if you what was the closed caption stuff, it said it was Quicksilver from the Fox films, and people flipped their shits. We'll find out later that's not the case. But yeah, no, I thought he was. I wish I got more of him as the Fonz character though. That was only that one instance, and then
Evan
it cut
Peters
to another.
Is so old in this episode.
He does.
I don't know if it's gray hair or if it's just getting wrinkly, but he does look very old.
Well, he looks so fine.
If you compare his appearance here compared to the prequel X-Men films, it has been a while. It's been 6-7 years in real time.
Probably.
Yeah.
Basically.
This is where the rumors got. This is where the speculation and everything just went wild. I think
basically, yeah.
For episode 5. And it was so annoying after that.
It was. But yeah, this episode was a good episode. I liked it. Especially me being right at the end. I'm sorry if I'm plugging that I was right, but I was right. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I have to say. It was a good episode. I think it was. I also remember this was the kind of reveal that Wanda couldn't bring people back from the dead, or she didn't know if she could or not. Because I remember Agnes made that comment. But yeah, I enjoyed. I was happy.
I think this one also had like the most cracks in her. I guess her hex. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this one, yeah, I think. But yeah, anyone else want to say anything else before we move on to episode 6?
Sparky was robbed.
Sparky was robbed. He needed more screen time.
He
What
absolutely
do you think about that, actually?
It's you think the dog got paid enough, but probably in Cheetos. That's about it.
oh my god.
But is it me that like I wanted to be like Sparky from the comics, where like he was actually like a green dog with a vision
Like a
symbol on his
robot
head?
dog?
Yeah. I wish they did that, but I mean, it's as long as we got a name mention, that was all I needed.
Also, I remember like a speculation thing from like I don't know where it was, but like in the back they had like the windows and it was shaped like an M, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's House of M," and I absolutely hated every kind of speculation that came out from this episode.
There was a thing with Evan Peters. They're like, in the reflection, his hand is red.
No, he's Mephisto. That was the dumbest thing.
It's in the commercial here. It was the Lagos commercial.
That was
Yes, it
so
was.
dark.
This commercial was the most savage shit I've ever seen in my life.
It's when I forget the tagline.
I thought the time I was literally laughing. I was like, "Oh my god!" Lagos, when you want to be the best, that wasn't your fault.
Yeah,
That's awful.
that was pretty funny.
Yeah, but all right. Any other thoughts before we move on to episode 6?
No, it's a good episode. 80s were cool.
It was a good episode. I enjoyed it, but we're gonna move on to my favorite episode, which is episode 6. I love episode 6 so much. Episode 6, this one I actually remember pretty well because for episode 6, they basically just did Malcolm in the Middle. This is not the right image. They basically did Malcolm in the Middle, and I grew up watching a lot of Malcolm in the Middle growing up. So like I really liked it a lot. This one's the right image. And I love like the intro. It says like Pietro Maximoff as himself, which I loved a lot. I was like, yes, but it's kind of sus.
Yeah, this was a really good. I love the Halloween costumes.
Oh my god,
that was the absolute best part of this episode.
It was so much fun. Like I'll try to pull up an image, more image. Like I love Pietro and Tommy's costumes so much. I think it's so much fun. Oh my god.
I was really because this was like the first episode where I saw leaks for, and it was only for stupid Funko spoiled me because I saw like Billy and Tommy's Halloween costumes.
Word.
And I started screaming because I'm like, Wiccan is so much closer to being an MCU.
He is. Yeah. I mean, they both are, but oh my gosh, I loved how like it's like with Wanda's costume. Like, because people, all like what Scarlet Witch fans, all they want is just like an accurate costume. That was as accurate as we got at that point. Was her Sokovian fortune teller costume. Oh my gosh! But
also, this is when they realized they both had powers.
Yeah, no, that I did not expect them to get their powers that quickly though. That shocked me. I was like, holy crap! Like,
well, the show moves pretty fast in general.
That is true.
I honestly thought they weren't going to give them powers at all, and they were just like, oh, well, they're just dressed like random characters or whatever. But no, they actually decided to like move forward with that. Because I honestly thought that these were just like meat puppets, I guess, or like two random kids in Westview. And I'm like, she just wanted
someone else's kids, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Also, Agnes was really funny in this episode. Well, we find out later, but this was like Agnes's really interesting part too.
I mean, yeah. I mean, because I remember it was a scene where like we only see her when Vision decides to see what's like on like the edge of like the hex, and we see like the frozen people that are like in tears because like they're not having like the free will to like move themselves. And yeah, like, and her being a witch, that was pretty funny. Because
people look, you got it right, but like the more speculation came about her being Agatha Harkness, I still didn't believe it. I still really thought that she was just some random person that could break control out from Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was even like interesting when they pulled Evan Peters out.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all the characters, why would they pull out Evan Peters' Quicksilver?
Exactly.
And then, especially like at the end, where she realizes that's probably not the right character.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with this comment, I think my favorite comment that I also saw in the leaks was when Evan Peters, Quicksilver in the show, said it's not like your husband can die twice, and then Wanda just yeets him.
Yeah. And okay, I'll say this real quick. Even though like we'll find out that like about like this version of Quicksilver, but like I think he's the most accurate version of Quicksilver we've ever gotten, because Quicksilver in the comics is a prick and an asshole. And when he's going around with Tommy and Billy just like pranking them and like just being completely little shits, that's Quicksilver, and I loved it so much. Like, oh my gosh! And plus, like, look at these costumes right here. Look at the comic book accuracy with these costumes. Great, I loved it.
Wait, was this the episode where Monica had to wasn't like that jazzed about hearing about Captain Marvel? Or was the point?
Yeah, I think it was either it was last episode or this one. I don't really remember, but yeah. Honestly, I like don't remember that much about what happened the sword angle, to be honest.
Because I know like stuff that happened in this episode, like it was fun, like character stuff, but not a lot of plot.
Yeah.
Well, I think in this episode, plot-wise, it's in Sword, but I think that's when Monica, Jimmy, and Darcy splintered off to go on the outside of the Sword base and find her friend, the aerospace engineer.
Oh God!
And that's a whole other topic of discussion.
Yeah. That will be on the list of things that I have to add a banner, but of things that upset us throughout the whole show.
But also, you know, I think this episode, it was the one where the writers had the most fun because they made the Kick-Ass reference. That was they did, you know, certain questions, but that were kind of meta, that made you question what was going on. Like, is Wanda the one responsible for this? With you know, it's Pietro saying what happened is your accent, and you know, and then with Wanda expanding the hex, it's to engulf the sword agents, turning them into clowns. Someone mentioned that a while back. I thought that was really cool. And then also too, I think this episode we find out that is that kind of with Vision, he's tied to the hex when he starts to disintegrate. And that further proves that, but Wanda is overall in charge, but the show was at the time dropping hints that some greater powers at work, like with Agatha, it's with Agnes. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Seeming a bit normal, talking to Vision. So, you know, it was a fun episode that had a lot of playing around to do.
And to touch with Agatha being normal at that instance, that was being like, wait a minute, am I wrong? Like, is she just a regular person? Like, you know, well, which I thought was cool. But also, this is like my favorite line in the show is when Pietro calls Billy and Tommy Demon Spawn. I was like, let's go. But no, this episode was a lot of fun. This was my favorite one because it was just so much fun. You could tell the writers as well as like the cast and everyone had so much fun doing this episode. And I can say that like I've seen comics accurate Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, and I can die happy. So
What was the commercial? Was this the Yo Magic commercial?
Yes.
I believe
Yeah.
so. Yeah, that was the
That
Yo
was
Magic.
so disturbing. Because I was like, oh, this is gonna be cute. Like it reminded me of like the old Danimals commercials when I was a kid.
Word.
And then
It
all of a
really
sudden,
had the energy of like I don't want to just say too many cooks, but that kind of like style of like fucked up commercial.
It's the claymation.
Yeah.
But that was the thing about the claymation commercials. Like growing up, I kind of remember seeing those a lot in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Claymation commercials, and that was really it was a blast from the past.
It was definitely. Ugh, those old Danimals commercials, I swear.
The best ones
Yeah.
were the Dylan Cole Sprouse commercials.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But yeah, this was great. I mean, I love this episode a lot. This was one of my favorite episodes of the show.
Me too, because I got to see Billy Wiccan.
I think it's like Billy, because Wiccan's like Billy's costume I thought was pretty like great. I was like, this is pretty good for homemade costume.
I'm still really shocked that they're going to expand this to Young Avengers, and that's like at that moment, they're going to do Young Avengers, even with like their lineup. You really don't think that they're going to do a new team, but they kind of solidify it here, I think.
Yeah, and yeah, but this episode was pretty good. I enjoyed it very much.
I feel like it wasn't as plot heavy, and I think I didn't like that much of it.
No, it really wasn't. It was just everyone just having a good time. Like that's basically what it was.
And then Darcy getting sucked up in the next.
Yeah,
and Darcy getting sucked in, which I thought her character later on was hilarious. Look at these boys. They're so they're so adorable. I love them.
They're so cute.
Also, plot. If I don't know if anyone would recognize Wiccan, but he was in Haunting of Hill House. If you don't watch Haunting of Hill House, he was Luke in Haunting of Hill House. He was young Luke.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't recognize him because he had the big glasses and stuff. And the blonde. Yeah, but I loved it. They looked awesome. I loved it so much. But yeah. Anyone have any other thoughts on episode 6? Move on.
No.
Cool. All right, episode 7. I don't remember what happened in this episode. I'm sorry.
This is a big reveal.
it was
Completely breaks.
It's the office.
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember now. Yeah, okay. Got it.
This is when Wanda went full millennial.
Basically, yeah. This was Modern Family, right? Modern Family.
It's the opening was The Office, right? It's the opening.
Yeah.
Titles for The Office, and
Yeah, it was the opening for The Office, but it felt a lot like Modern Family.
I think this was the episode that made me laugh the most, just because of how, like, I don't know, how crazy Wanda was going.
Unhinged.
Yeah, she was unhinged.
Speaking to it's something cool about this episode was constantly breaking the fourth wall, but kind of like of how they did with the last episode too, with the kids talking to the camera. It's with them. It's like they did in Modern. I think it was Modern Family, right? It was like speaking to the camera.
The camera, yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's like a sit down type interview of having like the moments with Wanda and with Vision, especially like in the truck.
That was hilarious.
And then he was like at the end, wait, what am I doing here? I'm supposed to, I'm supposed to be doing this, and then flies off. I thought that was really funny.
This was episode I remember mostly. Actually, Hannah got him. Movements this episode. That is true.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jim was supposed to make an appearance, according to the internet, as Reed Richards. That never happened. I don't know if we want to get into that.
Astrophysicist, whatever.
Yeah.
It was like, no one, I guess.
Nobody.
I don't know why they put that line in. I guess it was just to like get fans speculating, but looking back, there was just no reason for them to say it like that.
Exactly. 100%.
So they built all that up just for Monica to say to Jimmy, is this is Sergeant Gunnar, I think that was the officer's name, or something like that. And this episode, I mean, I kind of mentioned this before, but now it's live. I guess, but we should say this: fans have their theories, and
Yeah.
and there's a story that's being told. There's a line to be drawn with fan theory and serving the story.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But there is a point where, especially with a show that is released weekly, that's how it's formatted to keep fan anticipation going. But the writers cause all this drama. Well, no, but not drama, but to make fans think. And sometimes when fans have these thoughts and that they don't come to fruition, people get disappointed. That's just how the wheel turns. And
they do nothing but disappoint themselves.
And it's a cycle. And it's everybody's prone to this. I'm prone to it. I psych myself up for something that never happens. And it's everybody was expecting setup to happen in this episode. People were expecting Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four to make an appearance in this episode, or someone similar.
I didn't want him.
And it didn't happen. And
see, I didn't think it was gonna be him. I thought it was just gonna for me, I was like, they have to have a Skrull in this show. Like there has to be a Skrull somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
She'll be one of them, but I wasn't expecting it to be Reed Richards at all.
See, Alex, I agree with you in what you're saying, but to me, what they're doing, like you said, they put breadcrumbs in there for people to talk about. But to me, like I was saying, it seems almost too deliberate that you can't go back and say we didn't want you to address that when you clearly put it in for fans to address.
Yeah,
it's kind of similar to them saying it's in the earlier episodes, which we talked about. It's in our previous podcast. Watch that episode. You're welcome, Mikey.
Thanks, bro.
Certain pieces of dialogue, like the devil's, it's the devil is in the details. It's the same with the Dottie is the key to everything. And look how the series ended.
I forgot about that
The
too.
writers just being pricks. To be honest, since it comes out weekly, especially since the director or whoever Rebecca was saying earlier wanted to be I hope you guys aren't too disappointed with the finale. Maybe we're just giving them too much credit.
I just want to say real quick my favorite part about this episode, besides what happened near the end. But the favorite part about this episode is my girl, Monica Rambeau, got her powers.
She did.
I was like, let's go! I love Monica Rambeau in the comics. I love her as Spectrum. I think she's awesome. And the fact that she got her powers.
See, I'm excited she got her powers. I just wish she got to do something with them.
That's true, yeah.
Well, it's the setup for her appearance in the next movie, probably.
I thought the way they did it was kind of cool. The whole each variation of her being pulled apart and she had to literally pull herself together. I thought it was kind of cool, and she got powers out of it, which I thought was awesome.
Except also too, she was having to walk through the barrier, and her hearing parts from Captain Marvel with Fury and her mom and Carol. Mm-hmm. That was kind of cool. It's kind of of how she heard Carol back when she came back to life after the snap. It's after the snap, or it's when people came back. But Monica. Well, now that the show is over, it seems that Monica is kind of like the hero. It's of another story.
Yeah.
This show, yes, it's on. It's about Wanda Maximoff. It's about the Vision ultimately, but also this whole 9-episode series is also it's an origin story. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And that's what makes this type of format cool, especially if it's TV, is that you can make this character, set it up, and you know, it's create her to have her appear in the future. So Monica, she's a really interesting, cool character. I think Taya, I hope I don't butcher this, Taya Parrish?
Tayana Parrish.
Is it Tayana Parrish? She did, you know, she served her purpose in this, and I thought that she did a great job.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then we get the whole, like, we take off the spacesuit. It's like not obviously like her actual like super suit, but like an homage to like her color scheme in the comics. And also to quote Twitter, we also got Darcy and Monica looking hella thick there.
God,
I gotta put it out there. I put it out there. You have to
This is
reference
also, like-
everything that fans said, Diego. Everything.
Oh my God. So did this confirm Man Thing too?
What do you mean? Oh, with
The
the
Nexus?
the Nexus commercial. Yeah. I don't know. I have my own theory about what that commercial meant that we'll talk about in the theories section. But I guess Matt thought it was Man Thing. But I mean, you know, he's wrong at the end of the day.
Is it too late to give theories?
Well, I go through the next episode. Any thoughts on Actually, no, wait. We got the reveal with Agatha.
We
being in
forgot the best part.
The
of
best
this
part, yeah.
goddamn episode.
Yeah, the best part was Agatha all along, and
I had no idea Catherine Hahn singer fucking theme song.
she sung it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's great.
That's why it hit the #1 chart on iTunes. I believe so.
It was #1 on iTunes. Yeah. I thought that was so much fun. That was a super fun way to reveal it.
See,
Also,
I really love the song and I think it's a lot of fun, but I feel like watching it, I was like, she basically revealed nothing. Like,
yeah, that's true.
She's behind it, but behind what? All she did was like Pietro and then like mess around a little bit. Like,
Yeah, she
reveal
was
when
the
you
one
really
that
think about it.
like, what did she show off like in that like compilation that like she was the one who made this version of like Pietro. She was one that messed with Herb, cutting weed whacking his wall.
She was
in
at the
this
magic
photo,
show.
obviously, that she was the person behind the camera for the.
It's a talent show. It's in episode 2.
Mhm.
She did
And then
that.
she also killed Sparky too.
Yeah.
That was great. That
I
part was
was
great.
really, really excited when I saw that book because I thought it was a Darkhold, and it also kind of put Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the grave now.
Okay, that was the thing because like I didn't think it was the Darkhold in what I thought it was just some magic book or whatever. But like
I thought it was a really evil magic book, and I was like,
but
"That's
I
it."
didn't think it was the fucking Darkhold. Like, but yeah, this scene was fun. I really liked it a lot.
I love Uma Thurman. That song's amazing. It's a
I love
it.
Okay. All right. All right, but any does anyone have any more thoughts on episode 7 besides me being right?
I really hope. Well, that's later, but I really thought Agatha was going to be like, "Oh, let me teach you how to do this stuff," like all nice and everything. And turns out that's not completely.
That's how she is in the comics.
That's what I thought, and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Well, and also too, about the reveal, it's the type of reveal where if you put the pieces together, it's not a surprise. It's not like it's out of left field because the pieces were already all there. From her being the nosy neighbor who knows everything that's going on in Wanda's life, to her not having an identification it's on the sword board. I just thought of that right now.
Yeah.
And her breaking character, speaking to Wanda, saying, well, you know, a second take, want me to do it again? The pieces were there. But it's still fun nonetheless.
I mean, there was also like the fact that her name is literally just a combination of her first and last name. Like that, immediately I was like, yeah, that's Agatha Harkness, 100%. The fact that her brooch for people who are Wiccans, in our audience has Hecate, which is the goddess of witchcraft on it. That was so it was right there in front of us. That so
I forgot. Didn't you say that after the first or second episode?
Wait, what?
Even before like the first, when they saw her name was Agnes, everyone was like, "That's her."
Yeah, I was like, "That's her." Like, you know, but
it's kind of interesting how they didn't do a really old lady.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Except also too, except also too, some people have to have like casting knowledge because it's in a movie, it's or a TV show. It's when someone gets the "and" credit that is usually someone of some. It's someone who is relevant. And Catherine Hahn, she is an established actress. So no, like speaking of knowing off the bat, when she was announced as Agnes, it's it's and having to get that type of some of the credits. It's with the and billing. That means that she's important in some way. That's how it usually goes with with credit and credits. So she was important off the bat.
That's true.
This was also the first episode with an end credit scene.
It was. Yeah, what was the end credit scene?
It was Monica looking at Agatha's basement. Or
right.
Is it the Witch's Road? It has to be, right?
Snoop.
Yeah. And I'm like,
and then Quicksilver comes out of nowhere and is like, "Sup?"
Snooper's gonna snoop, and then he knocked her out or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other thoughts before we move on to episode 8? 8. Yeah, 8.
It wasn't a shocking reveal, but it was still a really good reveal.
It was fun.
It was really fun. I was like, Agatha's a bitch, but I love her.
All right. Well, episode 8 then. Episode 8. All right. So, yeah, what the hell happened in this episode?
This was an origin story for Wanda.
It was, yeah. Okay.
It's the curtain reveal episode.
I have an image for that, but yeah, I like this episode. I mean, there's the people that on this episode a lot of people complained about.
This is my favorite episode because it made me cry.
There was stuff I liked and didn't like.
Okay, my first favorite theory from this episode, people trying to hold on to it still being Mephisto and everyone being like, Mephisto the bunny, and she fed the kids to the rabbit.
No, here's the thing. People thought that the insect was Mephisto because in the comics he turned into a cicada or like an insect, and then the insect got eaten. So I'm like, oh my gosh, did they just eat Mephisto? Or wait, maybe the bunny's Mephisto. Like,
comics are just as weird, and I feel like the MCU makes a little more sense than the comics sometimes.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Okay. I have a couple things I want to talk about with this episode. Like I said, there's some things I liked, some things I didn't. I liked how they showed the parents watching like the sitcoms with the kids and how that was like a family bonding thing. I thought that was really cute. And this has to do probably with the MCU being a fucking mess. Yeah. But like the ball went off like when they were that young, because in the movies they make it sound like it happened like a month ago. Ultron is a bad movie. But and also with that, like again in Age of Ultron, which not a great movie, but it came before this. They're talking about being trapped. And they still are in this, but they have so much room to just like chill there. Yeah. I thought they were trapped within rubble. They got like they were like all around. They were out of bed.
Let's just say that the showrunners didn't talk to Joss Whedon for good reason.
Yeah.
But for very good reason. But it is a retcon. Because also, too, I think, okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but back in Age of Ultron, didn't Quicksilver say that they got bombed, it's in the middle of dinner? Didn't they?
I feel like they did.
And this is a whole different scenario.
I'm still not sure if they were like 16 in that movie or like 20 or what, because people say different things. So I don't know what the fuck is going on in Age of Ultron. But
Yeah. I actually don't remember that. I don't remember when they said exactly like when the bombing happened. But
If
I
I
know
don't,
people were like very upset with her joining Hydra because of, in the comics, so she's Romanian and Jewish.
yeah,
And how they joined a Nazi
people
organization.
better they erase her identity in this.
Yeah, like this could have been. Oh god. Yeah.
I'll say this real quick that props to Diego and I being right on the sitcom factor for us being foreign. So there's that. And again, Matt was wrong. I gotta put it out there just one more time.
That part made me like cry like real hard because I'm like, oh my god, she learned English like that.
Yeah. Which that was great. I mean, just to rewind real quick, yeah. The bunny eating the bug, and that was so funny. But I love the basement with the magical rooms and stuff, and then we see a book that we will find out later is the Darkhold, and all that stuff. And her question, like why, like she knew. This was like the hint that like this episode we find out like Wanda isn't a mutant or like an enhanced person. She uses She's always been a magical magic user the whole time.
Also, can I just say this is where people thought mutants were going to get introduced, and I'm really happy they did not introduce mutants in this whole thing.
That's the thing. Okay, people like that's with Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige does two things like with the MCU. He follows the comics and he keeps it simple.
Yeah.
If he introduced the mutants now, it'd be one of the most complicated fucking things ever. And I don't. Yeah. So I'm also happy he didn't do that as well. But this episode was a lot of people have described this episode as filler.
It's exposition.
Yeah. It's exposition filler. I think it's good filler because it answers some of the questions that I had with my theories and stuff like that. So I didn't mind. I liked the flashbacks. Well, us going into Wanda's mind and exploring like the moments in her life that she cherishes as well as traumatized by. That was really cool. As you see in the image, here the thing with the Mind Stone, that was pretty cool as well. The fact that we learned that like the Mind Stone just enhanced what she already had, not just give her powers. But here's one thing that bothers me, and it still bothers me. And people told me to shut up about it, but I don't give a fuck. So like, how did Pietro get powers then? Like,
yeah, or if he had them all along.
Don't just tell me the fucking excuse that like, oh, he's her brother, so like the Mind Stone just gave him a pass. What? That makes no sense. Like, because everyone previous to them died, right? When in contact with the Mind Stone, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what bothers me. It's a fucking plot hole that still bothers me. You know.
And it also kind of confuses things. So I'm like, is like Quicksilver some sort of mystical being now?
It's because
he's dead. He's dead.
He's dead.
Well, the Mind Stone, because the Mind Stone is what gave Wanda her. Well, I don't want to say Dave because Mikey, but now we're saying and also too that I think it's a question that is a question that's supposed to be up for interpretation about if Wanda was magic, it's about Wanda, it's being superhuman from the start. So it's after the part, it's in their home of when Stark Missile came down and trapped them. It's Agatha, we can start calling her that now, said that, whoa, what if you have always had these powers, yet Wanda is not so certain about it because she said that it was just luck, a dud, is what she said.
Yeah.
Yet with Agatha is like, I don't know. So that's a question that's never really answered if you really think about it. It's up for interpretation as to if Wanda got her powers from the Mind Stone, or if she's always had something within her.
I mean, that's kind of what it seems like. That she always had something within her.
As like Mikey said, she already had something, but the Mind Stone like amplified it, or like helped to awaken it or whatever.
Yeah, because they said that Agatha said that she made like a probability hex or whatever. We didn't see it, but like we just see her move her hand a little bit, and like that's it. But like we didn't see any glowy shit.
So it's left up for interpretation, really.
Basically. Yeah. But I love the moment between her and Vision, that flashback from which is like Civil War time, I think.
I think that was right after Age of Ultron.
Okay.
It's before Civil War, obviously, because like all the events of Civil War is like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, what they were watching an old, I think they were watching the Dick Van Dyke Show, I think, and then or was that in the flashback? I don't really, or her as a child. I don't remember what they were watching.
It's the Dick Van Dyke was the flashback, but Malcolm, it's in the middle.
Malcolm in the middle.
Yeah.
So like just permeating the fact that like this is where she's created the sitcom universe for herself.
It's her comfort place.
It's her comfort place. But yeah, no, this episode was a lot. There's a lot to unpack from this. I mean, especially we'll say at the end of the reveal, like one, I got excited when they said that she uses chaos magic. I was like, fuck yes. And two, we found out that like she's the Scarlet Witch, which is not just a title. It's not just a code name that she has. It's like a title for something.
Also, this is where like we figure out that Vision was made in the Hex.
Yeah, Vision was made in the Hex. Like,
and we got the most like disheartening scene where they bought a deed to a house, and it's just the most heartbreaking thing that I've ever seen.
Episode had so many like ooh moments where it was just them being like sweet, and it's like, oh
yeah, it was Vision. Vision already bought the house for them and Wanda before he died. So after obviously when Wanda came back from the snap, then she got the stuff from Vision, and and then got the deed. There's also the reveal like that fucking Hayward is a bitch and fabricated that whole situation of Wanda breaking into S.H.I.E.L.D. and stealing Vision's body when that was a lie.
So the thing about that is when I saw her walking into the S.H.I.E.L.D. building, I saw the same commercial or the same TV thing that was going on when Monica first walked back into S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's with the snap, like drive her on back.
So I don't know if that was just like a few hours before Monica got there, and Hayward just kind of like lied about it. He might have, because he's just an awful human being. You know, he's not Mephisto, but he's just a shitty person.
Well, Hayward said to Monica, I believe it was in the third episode. It was the third episode. It was with Monica's story at S.H.I.E.L.D., right? I think it was episode 3 or 4.
It's the
fourth one, yeah. Episode 4. I think Hayward said to Monica, "It's been 3 weeks since everyone was brought back." So, and I forget how long he said. It's when showing that doctored film. It's to the whole base. I forget how long ago he said it was. Like a week, he says that she came in and stormed the place. But Diego, it's a good point you bring up about like it's the same exact. It's news footage.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's a little confusing, but other than that, I really, really enjoyed this episode.
I enjoyed it.
The angle that they went with, like, the sitcoms being a lot of like immigrants, I guess, and that was really cool too, because I think that was really neat. Like, hey, she's also an immigrant and stuff like that.
I mean, I don't know if I should save this for later, but there was like one thing that bothered me with this episode, just a small thing.
What was it?
We also got to see Agatha in like her, I guess,
actual
outfit?
like
her old lady clothes. And I think even we saw her origin a little bit of her being in this, like, from Salem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happened in this episode. Yeah, I remember this. I totally forgot about it.
Which means New Salem is going to happen.
That was cool. I mean, I like the fact that they are making like they're establishing like, hey, like if sorcerers can exist like in Doctor Strange and stuff, then obviously witches can too. And they have their own set of rules and the way their magic looks as well. Similarities, but still different.
The quick question, if I can ask.
Yeah, well, sure.
So aside from it's LaFay from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Is that what she appeared in, or
no? She was in Runaways. It was in Runaways.
Okay, Runaways. So
yeah.
So aside from Morgan, this was meant to use like first showing of witches.
Yeah.
Right? So I talked with about this. This show was Marvel starting to not only dive into it's not only science fiction is the MCU, but it's also supernatural. Like, yes, Doctor Strange is magic, but this is that we're getting witches.
Mhm.
And
Here, I'll correct you on that. It's Marvel Hocus Pocus.
yeah, exactly. And this opens up a whole slew of possibilities now because it shows actual magic, not science fiction. And it shows that, yes, it's that they have their own code, it's their own rules, stuff like that. So this paves the way for future content. Blade, who's a vampire hunter. And it's
Morpheus.
Morpheus, no.
I mean,
we'll see.
It's we'll see what Sony says will happen, but no, it's that opening scene is with Agatha. It's with with the witches and stuff. I am super excited personally that Marvel is starting to dive deeper into supernatural elements.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying. Sorry, go ahead.
You say that, but then we're gonna get Falcon and Winter Soldier next.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. No, it's they're having to, dive into it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give us like a taste.
Yeah.
Because here you go. We know Doctor Strange isn't coming out for a while, so be happy with
Yeah,
it.
not till 2022.
Your syrups.
Yeah.
Actually gets me curious on why, because I remember they just said like Agatha can't be controlled and she has different colored magic. I want to know why that is. We didn't really get a good backstory on Agatha. We didn't really need it, but I'm just curious to see why she.
When they have the big loser fight at the end, they got to be able to tell them apart.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But yeah, this episode was good.
Technically, all the magic should be the same color, but Voldemort has green or something,
To show
or
he's
red.
evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good episode. I mean, a lot of people said a lot of people complained that it's just filler. But granted, it was needed filler because they're gotta answer these questions at some point. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. Also, this moment here where she sees herself when the Mind Stone explodes. I think it's I thought it was pretty cool.
I got really excited.
That was when everyone flipped their shit when they saw the fucking silhouette of the headpiece. Everyone went nuts.
I just really wanted her to have a headpiece. I'm really excited.
It's
about grief, right?
Yeah, it's what's pain, but love persevering or something like that.
Yeah, they really have to
Something
make
like
us
that.
sad every episode with Vision from here on out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we want to say anything else before we move on to episode 9? Or no?
Solid expositional episode.
Yeah. I guess
this is a really good origin for Wanda, I thought.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was pretty good.
It showed white Vision at the end.
Oh yeah,
we are.
That was the credit scene of Mayonnaise Vision.
Yeah,
I got really scared because I'm
from the comics where it's the twins looking at him when it's Daddy, why are you white?
If you can find that image, put it up, please.
Wait, hold on.
When I saw this episode and when I saw White Vision there, I thought that the whole series was going to end with Vision coming back and Wanda just crying on the floor. Oh.
All right. You want to move on?
Thinking about it.
Let's move on to the episode where people got angry at.
Yeah.
I'm not
episode 9 of WandaVision. This episode, I thought was good. Was I a little bit salty? Yes, I was.
Why?
Because you know why.
Why? Oh God, Ralph Boner. Were you mad at Ralph Boner?
It got me. That was the only thing I did not like with this episode was the fact that they wasted Evan Peters so much. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
It's the Mandarin from Iron Man 3.
It is the Mandarin from Iron Man 3.
Yep. But here's the thing. What if it is still Peter? Because Jimmy Woo still hasn't said his FBI is missing, like his person in what was it? Witness protection.
Yeah.
And
we'll talk about the stuff that we hate and like later, but like this episode was good. I like this episode a lot. Not my favorite, but it was pretty good. I mean, we got the fight between Agatha and Wanda, but like most importantly, we got like a reveal that like this book actually is the Darkhold, like the actual Darkhold. Which is kind of weird because in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. they did the Darkhold as well, and it looks completely different. So this is kind of like Foggy being like, yeah, fuck Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're doing our own thing.
I mean,
there's also a really nice House of M reference to when like the kids and Visual were getting pulled apart and like puzzle pieces were like falling off of them.
Yeah, so like there was like I was talking to Hannah about it earlier, like it's homage to like that Joe Quesada cover of Wanda breaking.
Yeah,
I thought it was so cool. But yeah,
also, Hayward shot at children.
He did.
He tried to run him over too.
He did. Yeah, he gives no. They have to solidify him being a complete asshole.
And this episode also made Wanda hit rock bottom. Well, she was at rock bottom, but then Marvel just kind of gave her a shovel to get. like here, suffer a bit more.
That's true.
I have to say, true. my one grievance is with Agatha's costume. I just want to say she looks like the evil guy from Halloween Town. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, I think
Calabar.
Well, she's
like, especially when she's floating on top of the buildings and like her cape's flowing, straight out of Halloween Town.
Also, Mikey, I'm gonna send you an image on Discord. I want you to put it up.
Well, Lexi, it's to be fair, she's from the 17th century, so
Is she
I know, but Hocus even did better.
Well, Hannah's just talking about. Okay, we'll talk about. So like that shot where like when like they're about to fight the soldiers and stuff, they practically just do the Incredibles pose of
I think that's the only time we're
that's what that was.
That's true. Yeah.
It's wait, I don't know if you just said, Diego. It's Incredibles was shown. It's at the theater. It's in the Halloween episode.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm deaf.
I was just saying that this was like probably the only time we're going to see the family all together.
Yeah.
This was really cute.
I'm gonna Rebecca, I want to put it up real quick. So like Daddy White. So funny. That's so funny.
So,
I'm dead.
Oh God.
I'm actually dead.
So,
wow.
And so who wrote that?
I don't know.
That's from the Tom King Vision.
Can we get the writer to come on and ask why he wrote that line?
Dude, that's hilarious.
Put him on the
We're just super into Mean Girls at that point.
But yeah, well, I want to say my favorite thing about this episode, besides like the fight. Well, there's a lot of things I like about this episode, but my favorite thing about it is the Darkhold, and we see what's inside the pages, and we see obviously like Agatha's like, oh, like you're the Scarlet Witch, and that like she's like she's like not supposed to exist. Like she's like a myth, and
she's
it's like
not born. She's
yeah.
We know.
And then and it's like revealed that like, which I loved. I was like, again with the chaos magic stuff, and the fact that she is more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme, which I was like, oof, that's cool.
That's gonna set fans off. That line.
That's what got all the dude bros really mad because they couldn't have a powerful woman.
As soon as she said that line, that's when Twitter blew up.
I'm like,
all you gotta say to the people who are mad is that she's stronger than Captain Marvel.
Oh, I forgot to put this comment up, but Hannah says to stream Agatha all along on Spotify. Support small artists, yo.
Small artists. Also
Um,
known as Marvel Studios.
Exactly.
Mega corporations.
But yeah, like over here we see the pages of like the Scarlet Witch, the headdress and all that stuff, and we can see what looks like I heard this is like alluding to the multiverse on this left side.
God, everything was alluding to the multiverse.
Yeah, you see like these similar just like
it's almost like we have the multiverse in the title of one of the upcoming movies.
exactly. Yeah, like there's like these same circle drawing over and over and over again. So I'm like, yeah, it's the multiverse. It makes sense. But yeah, the Darkhold, I was like, oof, this is dope because they're teasing something with the Darkhold, and I was like, yes.
Well, this was also the shield. This is also the shovel that buried Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It definitely did because the Darkhold looked nothing like this at all.
Yeah, it has like some weird lettering on the front and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Something
it
like
literally
that.
just like it's literally just like this one had like a weird like symbol on it, but this one, the Darkhold Nation, literally just said Darkhold on it.
But did the Dark? Wait, quick question, because I don't know. Does the back when they showed the Darkhold, it's in the show. Was that before or after they alter the timeline completely?
Before? I think before.
It was
I don't
one
remember. It shows the blur. But the Darkhold, man, that's basically just like it's basically Marvel's version of like the Book of the Damned or like the Necronomicon. Like that's what the Darkhold is. And it's supposed to make you crazy when you read it, but they might be doing something different when maybe if you're not like magical, then it makes you insane. But in the show, it makes you
already crazy. So
yeah, she already has a broken psyche. But yeah, I kind of flipped because I was like, damn, they really did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. dirty. And
yeah, I was like, well, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is gone.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's because the guy who played Ghost Rider, Gabriel Luna, he tweeted that like, yep, sorry, like I guess that my mattress wasn't the best place to put the Darkhold because he leaves with the Darkhold at the end of his season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So RIP to Ghost Rider because I wanted that show to happen so bad. But yeah, this episode was cool. I mean, like this episode showed that like Wanda's a really fast learner, especially with magic, because she was fucking teleporting and shit, and like turning invisible and shit, and like she did the nightmare thing again. That was cool.
So excited that Elizabeth Olsen got her wish and got like a somewhat practical like Scarlet Witch costume instead of a corset.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm like, how? Because I know she absolutely hated the corset. So I'm really, really glad that it looked like that. Even though we knew she was going to need a new costume regardless. But
I don't know. I like the costume design, but it just looks uncomfortable to me still.
Yeah.
I think
it's
here's an image of what the Darkhold looked like before. That's what it looked like before in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and on Runaways. Just said Darkhold on it.
Yeah, that's really blatant.
Goosebumps book.
It's like a Goosebumps book.
It's in case you couldn't read English. Here you go.
Yeah. But
I also guess we can talk about visions. The Vision fighting Vision, where they're like, "You're Vision, I'm Vision, we're not Vision."
Yeah. That was cool. I'll say this real quick: the fight between Vision and Vision was cool, but it looked dope. It was a great moment, but like it looked kind of wonky. Like, which you can see, like West were like they wasted most of their budget on other stuff and just not Vision versus Vision. But
I think also because the one's just all white, it looks weird to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if they would have fixed it just a little bit to where it didn't look as like robotic, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it looked really weird.
Yeah, for sure.
Or at least and then we saw the runes thing was really interesting because I'm like, oh shit, Wanda's actually using witch stuff that she's learning.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. The whole like rune trickery, like, which shows that like she's a fast learner when it comes to magic. But what the twins. Okay, the fact that like I love like even though we don't get much of it, like I love when the twins are using their powers at least together. That was really cool. I love Tommy and I love Tommy and Billy so much.
We also got to see Monica use her powers for the first time.
Okay, that shit was like whoa there. Okay, Marvel, it was a little bit too much there. but it's I was so
I
happy
don't know.
about it.
I wanted to see more of like the powers from everyone. Like if they're all gonna be there for the fight, they should all be fighting, I think.
Word.
And
I don't know if this episode should have been longer, but I feel like it was okay for what they wanted to do with Wanda, because this was mostly all about her.
I was saying this earlier when me and Lexi were talking about this. I'm not like one of those people who thinks there's going to be like a secret 10th episode, but the way they filmed this, it feels like there's something missing.
Yeah.
Well, it was filmed during COVID. So
That's true.
That's true. That is a factor.
I guess my big thing is like what's the sword guy's name? Hayward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hayward like has all these weapons at his disposal and everything, and the way that they just like put him out was he got hit by an ice cream truck. Like they could have done a little more to maybe show off like Monica's powers or the twins' powers.
Yeah, maybe like you said, Alec, maybe it's because of COVID, but it feels like there are a lot of things that just got dropped. Not necessarily like important things, but like little things that set up that didn't get the payoff.
Yeah.
Well, about the episode, it comes back to the stuff we talked about, fan expectations and serving the story. In my opinion, I also enjoyed this episode, but I can understand the complaints that are happening on the internet of when feeling that certain characters were underused. Jimmy wasn't used that much. Darcy was gone for essentially 2 episodes. She saved the day at the end.
Yeah.
She did save the day, but she did stop the secondary villain of the show, who was your typical, well, not typical, but like it's your typical, it's corrupt government CEO, basically trope. But they did show it's the whole family fighting together, Vision, Wanda, and the twins. This episode, I thought, it was very grounded. It was a very grounded episode in that it focused on Wanda and Vision. It didn't go high stakes like the typical films go.
I love that so much.
It's a very cool outfit. No. But she but no, it was a very grounded episode in that it wasn't a grand finale type of mind-blowing episode, which at the end of the day, I can kind of respect because this is a smaller stakes story.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I just feel like if you're gonna have a smaller stakes story, I think it's fine. Honestly, I don't think the show should have had like a real villain, like a big fight at the end. I think it should have been more like interpersonal kind of conflict.
Mm-hmm.
But like the fights just didn't do it for me. I felt like that made it more generic. I feel like there didn't need to be like
it felt like
it was a laser fight in the sky. I feel like that took away from like what the episode could have done.
Right. No,
I'm not gonna lie. It's all like Wanda's powers. Some of it's like more mental and like her like nightmare sort of thing. I think it would have been cool to like maybe use some of the budget less on like the laser fight, like Rebecca was saying, and do more, like the internal conflict stuff and just experiment with that instead of let's just go back to boom, boom, throwing like bolts of redness. It was just.
But
I don't know.
But the caveat to that is they had to appeal to the fans that mostly go to Marvel films or watch Marvel movies for that reason.
Yeah.
People that did not like WandaVision in the beginning, this was their episode. Because they had cool battles and stuff at the end and stuff.
Well, that's the thing though. This ending, it could be seen as like a sour spot. It's for fans of Marvel. It's like us. It's like all of us. And the people who've seen the show. We liked this show for doing something different. It was experimental. It had dark tonal shifts to it. But the ending episode here, it was typical MCU kind of. It's with like, battle. It was stuff like that. But one thing to take away from this is that it's I enjoy this a lot. This show established that Wanda, she didn't do this under someone else's orders. She did this from her own grief. No, she didn't mean to hurt these people, but she did it, and people are pissed. So something that I respect a lot about how they ended this is that Wanda did all of this, and people are not happy with her. And so that's something that she has to now continue to live with, which they'll probably expand upon. It's in, it's her future appearances. But I like how, yes, it was kind of generic Marvel towards the end of the run, but overall, we got a mostly experimental show that was not action packed. It was very character focused. That in the end, she did this. No, she wasn't a villain, but she did some very not selfish, but some.
I wouldn't say she wasn't a villain.
She was like half a villain.
It's anti-villain, I guess. But she
really
did this.
Sorry about it.
I think it just sort of made her more real. Like, she doesn't have the 100% Captain America complex of, like, justice for all sort of things. She's like, yeah, I was selfish. Do I care about it? A little bit. Sorry.
Bye.
No, right. Exactly. No, exactly what is it? This developed her character. It's in a way that the films probably couldn't have.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
Yeah, so.
It's something I respect that the show chose. It's not to pull. It's a one saying like, no, actually, she didn't mean to do this, but in the end, she did it, and she has to live with it. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but I agree with what you said, but she did get off kind of like easy.
Yeah. I'll just say it right here, people. I'll just say it right here. She should go to fucking jail. I'm sorry. She needs to go to fucking prison. She held people against their will for how long? For like weeks. Like she should and ruin their
only weeks. Like I mean, Darcy seemed fine for a little bit.
Listen, that's because Darcy got released. That's because Darcy got released by Vision. Wanda should go to fucking jail. I don't care. I did not like how she got off easy at all.
Okay, but if they put her in jail, what are they gonna do?
That's true. But like,
Monica, the same thing.
But no, this episode was it was a nice ending. I'm just also like this is my favorite costume. One of my favorite costumes in the MCU besides Black Panther's costume. It's phenomenal. I don't know, like it's something about it. It's so cool, especially when she gets the hoodie. I guess when she gets the cloak with it as well. I was like, oof, that's so cool. Yeah, this episode was good.
This is where she kind of turned Agatha back into Agnes.
Yeah,
as punishment. She was able to like end her life.
I really hope. I know they're probably not going to do a season 2 of like WandaVision or like a show with Wanda.
He's considering it.
I would love to do like for them to do like that 2017-2019 Scarlet Witch one, where Agatha was like kind of like her buddy as a ghost or something like that. That would be really cool.
Well, here's the thing though about like Agatha being held within a prison type of thing. This is another Zemo situation. It's from the out of the universe question is that when is she returning?
True.
That's a big question because with Zemo, it was like he was the only Marvel villain at the time, aside from Loki, who didn't die in their movie, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's true.
And so now, but like, it's after Civil War, tons of people, we're wondering what's going to happen to Zemo. Is he going to come back at some point? Now it's the same thing with Catherine Hahn as Agnes or Agatha. And I feel like, considering that she only spent 2 episodes having time to shine, it seems like, except also too, it's with Wanda saying, I'll see you around. It seems that Marvel is probably going to bring her back in some capacity.
I'm going to guess that she's going to come back in Multiverse of Madness. And
that's probably what's going to do.
Here's a random thought at the end of Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Sue Storm having
Also,
a kid.
I just want to say real quick. I like this picture. I like this scene a lot. Because I thought the crowd was just gonna be energy. I thought it was gonna be cool if it was just energy. But I mean, it's fine. I mean, if it was energy or either or, it still was great. But yeah, anyone else? Also, like the goodbye scene between Vision and Wanda, as well as like Tommy and Billy, I thought was pretty good. I was like,
Billy definitely knew what was going on. He had to.
Rebecca and I had this conversation where like he can read her mind, so like he definitely knew.
Yeah. It's like, I'm gonna die now.
But also like that, we also got that reveal where it's revealed that Vision is the piece of the Mind Stone that lives inside Wanda.
Yeah,
like, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, and that was the first time that I put two and two together. I was like, oh my god, Wanda and Vision came from more it's or less the same Infinity Stone. That just occurred to me, and that is something taken into consideration. And so it kind of makes sense that the Vision, who I think the internet is now dubbing just called the Westview Vision from now on, he was created from her chaos and magic. And so he said a great line too of it's of how he started. It's as a voice. It's with no body. Jarvis from a person that's not human. I think it was the next line, and then he said, "What should happen? What may I come back as next?" And that was a really cool thing to take into consideration.
I also like the line, like, too, where, what did he say? Like, they'll meet again or something?
Yeah.
Because I was like, Vision now has his back, so Wanda, go get your man.
He basically, I think is what he said. He said like, don't, I don't want to say goodbye. And then I think she said like, then we'll just say hello again, like someday. I thought it was so cute. I was like, oh. But
Vision hit different though. Let me just say, pour one out.
Remember when Wonder Woman 1984 tried to do this moment?
Oh
yeah,
god.
Vision wasn't in somebody else's body, so
Yeah, that's true.
That's
also,
Mikey,
we said this right. We said this right, like with White Vision being like woken up with the memories again after their. Okay, we said that. Okay, that was cool. I like how his eyes changed. That was nice.
So all that the actual Vision knows, but White Vision, is that he just, from this point on, it's all that he. So his most recent memory is dying by Thanos, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is how they do in the comics sometimes. He has the memories, but there's no like emotion attached to it.
Yeah.
So he's tranquil.
What I thought they were going to do at the end was merge the soul and then the body together, and that's how we have like Vision back again.
Marvel giving Wanda a boyfriend, and they need to use the trauma of her losing a boyfriend like they do with like most female characters.
Yeah.
So,
but the ending, and so now with Wanda knowing that she has to embrace her grief, and so she walked away from the house to the streets to see Monica. And all the residents were eyeing her up. They are angry at her for the right reasons. And personally, I thought that exchange with the Monica and with Wanda was very unique, saying, if I had your powers, I would bring back my mother. So there's some understanding it's between these two characters, is that they have both lost a loved one. And that's the common ground that they can find in this type of with everything that's gone down.
Yeah. All right. Well, away. That's true. But I just want to leave at that point. So we want to like move on real quick, because this is we gotta talk about an important segment before theories, just real quick, that is made up just now. We gotta talk about how Marvel fucking trolled the shit out of us. All right, so we'll just say everything. We'll just vent to say everything that we thought was gonna happen that didn't happen. That or thing that made us upset. For me, it's fucking them wasting Evan Peters. That pissed me off so much. He's Evan fucking Peters. Give this man some work. God damn it.
It was the X-Men for me.
Yeah, like 2 for me. Well, I'm not gonna say this because that's not. I'll say this: that Wonder Man is not in this. Because I said that.
Why would you want Wonder Man?
He was in. There was concept art of him in an interview.
There's no reason for Wonder Man to be here when he doesn't matter for Vision at all.
Vision was literally man at a Jarvis. There was no reason for Wonder Man to even be in this.
I know, but like it's fine. It's fine. Like they put him. Listen, I have faith. The concept art does exist. We saw it there. So Nathan Fillion will get some work and be Wonder Man in the MCU. I swear to God.
Well, the documentary's coming out next week, so
yeah. So we'll see. But also, we also don't know who the fucking witness was that Wu was assigned to.
I still think that's Quicksilver.
It's not important.
No.
Yeah.
I saw someone on TikTok say the water bill for like Ralph like went back like way too many months for him to be only there for a couple months, like Jimmy Woo said. So everyone was like debunking it, unless they just are really crappy at like keeping continuity. But
either one could be an option.
Yeah, either one could be an option, but
I don't think the person in the witness of protection is important. It's just a way to say that's why Jimmy's here. I thought that's
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's what it is.
And it's the FBI, and in the Marvel universe, not gonna lie, they don't matter.
That's true.
I think Marvel at this point just kind of told its fans you need to calm down for like 5 seconds.
What else?
I also call out Bettany because he was like, "I am so excited for you guys."
Just see the person I want to work with for a long time, let him know it was himself, which is hilarious.
Yeah. That's funny.
Also, the fact that there's no Luke Skywalker cameo, so no Doctor Strange, no Mephisto, no Nightmare, none of that shit.
I'm really happy about, to be honest, because I love that this was a story just about Wanda and Vision and just Wanda's trauma. I like this.
That's what I was saying, Alec, before we started, is that like even though like I wanted these amazing like mind-shattering things to happen, I'm still happy with what we got. It's because it's a small contained story and that's it. And I appreciated it.
I'm glad there's no big cameos. I like that, but I do think it'd be pretty funny if you get like a ding dong like sitcom doorbell and you just see fucking Magneto there. No mutants. Which as I said, why the fuck would people think that they would introduce mutants, especially with the framework that the MCU set up for 10 years without having mutants there to begin with? That's complicated shit. And I don't know why.
It would be very hard to introduce mutants at this point.
I was talking with my roommate recently, like how difficult it's gonna be for them to do mutants in the MCU because of what they set up without them. So like,
I still think it's funny though, the fan theory where it's like it's gonna be House of M, but instead of no more mutants, it's just gonna be mutants.
Yeah.
Mutants.
Oh god, I don't know. I think fans just need to let characters breathe a little bit.
Exactly. Oh, there's another thing. I'm trying to think of more stuff. There's some other stuff that.
Well,
the pizza thing, yeah, it was slightly like, I don't know. It wasn't annoying, but it was like
everyone's Mephisto till proven otherwise.
Yeah, sure.
It's Ralph is just an actor named Ralph.
I hated that. Why because it gave me PTSD again of the Mandarin. And I hated that.
I gotta say that was a little disappointing.
It was.
But it was okay. I was like, all right.
Well, I was watching like Beyond the Trail, and she was like, yeah, that's one thing that Marvel's like that people are going to be so mad at them for a while is the fact that they just let Evan Peters just be Ralph Boner actor and like that's it. Like
especially considering that after Monica took the necklace off to have him like it's out of her control. That's the last we see of him. And I get that the focus is on Wanda, but the series never answered what happens to Ralph. And And so from so far, how I'm interpreting it is that the casting of Evan Peters is an outside casting gag with Fox properties now under the control of Disney. This was a way, I think, please tell me if I'm wrong, to rile up the fans.
Of course.
I think it was always meant to be fan service, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was meant to be fan service, but another part of me, like Mikey was saying before, was like, it was just disappointing because Evan Peters does really cool characters, and it was just sort of like crappy to like, him be wasted.
Yeah. Like, I was not happy because Evan Peters is a good actor. Like, he's a somewhat big name within like rising like young Hollywood like talent. And I was like, come on, like, do something with him. Like, do something interesting. Don't just make him a one and off character named Ralph Boner and just like, what? Like, whose decision was this? Like, I want to know.
I did like a lot of the memes that came out of WandaVision, especially the ones where like Billy was supposed to be eating like Lady Gaga Oreos.
What?
Because he's like in the comics, and he's like, oh my god, he's gonna be listening to Lady Gaga in the background eating her fucking Chromatica Oreos.
That's so funny. Oh man, there's some other stuff. I like one thing. Like I thought that like the theory that like the people in the chance with that one, of course. Man, they am I upset? A little bit, but like. Oh, I am upset. No, I'm upset. But like
the Mephisto thing, I think it's still gonna happen.
Okay, no, listen.
Let's wait for Doctor Strange. Let's wait for Doctor.
Listen. But I give respect to Feige and the cast and everyone else because that it was. If I was writing shit like this, I would have done the exact same thing. so yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Diego. What?
No, go ahead.
No, I had nothing to say.
No, I was good. Are we gonna go to theories now?
Yeah,
what's gonna happen?
Wait. So, the post of the credit scenes.
Oh yeah, no, we'll talk about theories. Okay. That's all be theories. But yeah. So theories. So obviously, the first post credit scene that we got was the scroll that showed up at the movie theater, teasing that Monica Rambeau will have to talk to her mom's former colleague, which is obviously it's Nick Fury. It's Nick Fury because he's up there in space, doing whatever he's doing. The thing is, like, it was funny because like with that scene from Far From Home with Nick Fury, I thought that was supposed to be Sword. So, but like now knowing that like Sword is already like an established like agency like on the ground. So like, what is Nick Fury doing?
Well, we see in the series they used to be space and they switched to sentient whatever.
Yeah.
Sentient weapons, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here. And people also there's a theory. People thought this was Talos's daughter from Captain Marvel. It's not Talos's daughter.
I wanted it to be her. I wanted it to be a cool moment, but
yeah, no, because if it was, then she would have like hugged her, like embraced her, because like that's like family.
But they never met.
Yeah.
I don't think they met, did they?
Oh, Diego.
I don't think Talos's daughter ever met Monica.
Yeah, they did when they were kids.
Yeah, they did. You're right. At the end of the house. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Came down to Earth.
So
yeah.
like, if it was her, then it would have been a lot more like a more like embracing type stuff.
I'm just happy there was a scroll because I sort of called it. Talking to Rebecca, I was like, I know they're gonna pull some stupid space stuff.
Gotta promote Captain Marvel 2 coming out.
She is coming in Captain Marvel 2. So like,
I thought this was to introduce Secret Invasion.
And okay, that's the thing. Like, I've also heard that like people think that like, yeah, it's supposed to like tease Secret Invasion, but like, but I'm not sure. I don't even think we know if she's gonna be in Secret Invasion right now because only.
I think it's probably Secret Invasion though, because they already established the Skrulls as like the good guys.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
And I think I'm not sure about is Secret Invasion coming before Captain Marvel or no?
Probably not.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't know. Well, like, yeah, this is basically like, you know what? You're gonna be talking with Nick Fury. And I guess he has Secret Invasion as well. I mean, I don't know how Monica's gonna come into play if that is true. But I mean, I want more. Listen, here's the thing, right? Give Monica her own show, please. I don't want an Ironheart show. Fuck that. Give me a fucking Monica Rambeau show. Like, you know, or scrap fucking Armor Wars. No one wants to fucking watch Armor Wars. Give us fucking.
God, I don't know.
Give us Monica Rambeau.
Riri Williams in Iron Wars. They confirmed that already.
I don't care. No, I would. I probably do know the information, but I'm not gonna. I just don't give a fuck. No.
What did you think they were gonna do? Iron Lad first?
No, I just don't like Riri Williams. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited to see what Monica's journey is in the MCU going forward. I mean, I hope she gets her actual thing is people are gonna say that they think she's gonna be called Photon or she's gonna be called Spectrum. I like Spectrum a lot better because it makes it's a better representation of her powers. But I mean,
whichever name, because my God, Monica's name change over and over and over again is just really sad.
It is.
Because she be Captain Marvel.
Yeah, but, she was Captain Marvel before Carol was.
Her mom was named Photon in the thing, so she's going to be Photon almost definitely.
Photon 2.
Yeah, Photon. I don't know. I'd rather them put some respect on her mama's name, keep her as Photon, and make her Spectrum. Yeah, no, it was a cool post-credit scene. I dug it. I'm excited to see what they'll do, but just give her own show. We don't need a Riri Williams show, people. Just give.
Mikey, that's only 10 years away. You got time.
I know.
I think off the top of my head, I think Captain Marvel 2 is after Blade.
Hell no, I think it's earlier.
I think so. I think you're right. Yeah.
I feel like Captain Marvel 2 is going to be not next year, but maybe a few years. I feel like it's not that far.
It's 2 years. Yeah.
Isn't it 2022? Captain Marvel?
That's what I thought. I don't actually know the dates.
No, Blade's coming out in 2023. It's not coming out in 2022.
I just looked it up and it says 2022.
It could change.
It could change.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they might actually be smart and make Blade come out earlier because it needs to come out.
What's the next thing? Black Widow.
Actually, I think next movie is Black Widow. But
Black Widow and then Falcon.
But that comes out after Winter Soldier and Falcon comes out. But yeah, I mean, Monica Rambeau, I loved her. She was great. I love Tiana Parrott. I was a fan of hers before she was even.
I want to see more of her. She was really cool.
It should be exciting. It's to see her. It's on the big screen. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because she's gonna be with Miss Marvel as well. That'd be cool. But all right.
I also don't want them to have characters only in these TV shows. I want them to be in mainstays in movies too.
Exactly. I completely agree. All right. So our other post-credit scene that we got was Wanda pulling a Bruce Banner, pulling a I don't know, who else has been secluded in the woods in Marvel movies. I remember mostly Bruce Banner.
With Edward, but no, with Ed Norton.
Yeah, with Ed Norton. But yeah, we get that scene of her, making some tea, and then to reveal that she's actually reading the Darkhold, astral projector, reading the Darkhold, and she hears the voices of Tommy and Billy calling for help. So this for me, from my perspective, I was like, we didn't see Mephisto, but we're gonna get Mephisto.
That's exactly what I thought. I think she's gonna try to rip those two pieces of his soul out.
Yeah.
Well, they never showed what happened to the rabbit at the end of the series.
So Matt, if you're gonna watch this at some point, we're getting Mephisto, bro, and deal with it.
We watched the Loki trailer, and there's a weird church scene in the Loki trailer, and in the stained glass, instead of Jesus, it's a devil. So
the devil.
I don't know if that's saying something, but
yeah, but here's with this scene, obviously we can see that one we mentioned before, she's astral projecting while awake. So this as a clinic that she's way powerful than Doctor Strange is, which I loved. So my theory for this scene that I'm backing from is one, I think that Wanda will probably be will be a somewhat antagonist turned protagonist in Doctor Strange 2. Her finding her children, if she's going to hell or another dimension, what have you, is what will break the multiverse and how Doctor Strange 2 will start. Or maybe Mephisto, Doctor Strange and her are gonna go after Mephisto to get her children. And that's the reason why she's in Doctor Strange in the first place. So like that's my theory, like with this post-credit scene. What everyone's thoughts are on that?
I really hope that it's just her going to Doctor Strange for help, trying to like control her magic and everything. And I really, really, really don't want her to be a villain. Even though I know they're kind of pointing you in that direction, but I really don't want her to be a villain.
She's more of an anti-hero now. She's kind of like making her like an anti-hero.
I don't want her to be a villain in the way that, like I said before, she just feels like such a real person at this point. And I'm like, it'll be a waste if they're like, oh yeah, she's just straight up going to be a villain because heroes must have this certain mindset sort of thing.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing though that I would like to see. But Marvel people, if you're watching this, don't be like the Star Wars sequels. Please communicate. It's between stories. Just please communicate and share your thoughts on the state of minds. It's of the characters going into the next project.
Plan out a trilogy instead of winging it.
Yes. Yeah. Which trilogy? The spiritual trilogy is what this is, because this Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange. But no, I think the most but first of all, it's the first thing that caught my eye was as soon as the scene started, I was like, wow, this aerial shot is the most expensive, is the most high budget shots of the whole show.
I was gonna say, was that not Wundagore that she was at?
That's one thing I heard about, was a theory that was like Wundagore Mountain. That she was at.
I'm like, that would make a lot of sense.
It makes sense because the Darkhold was written in Wundagore Mountain.
Yeah.
And comic book wise, like her and Pietro were born on Wundagore Mountain or near it. We don't know. It could be anywhere. She's probably in Sokovia.
We can get the humanoid cow soon.
Yeah, humanoid cow. We're gonna get.
Secondly, too, about that is that she said to Monica before she left, "I don't know this power, but I will," or something like that. I don't. So it's obviously here she's learning. So, but personally, it's kind of like you mentioned. There needs to be continuity. There needs to be a flow from one thing to the next. I'm hoping that just because the next one is a movie with her doesn't negate the character development that she underwent over these 9 episodes. Yeah. So I'm hoping that the showrunners / writing team talks with the writers of Doctor Strange and make sure that her actions in the next one don't go against everything she's gone through in this. That's the one thing I'm hoping that they don't do, which I have faith that they will keep her. It's on a path that is consistent with her character.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I mean, yeah, like her reading the Darkhold, I think was really cool because she said she was wanted to learn more about her power and stuff like that, and obviously we can see she's doing a pretty damn good job because she's literally making the symbols like how Doctor Strange and like the sorcerers make symbols with their magic, and she's literally sitting on a symbol and stuff like that. I think it's really cool.
They could also just like completely erase that Darkhold thing where it makes them evil. Could also just do that.
I think maybe. I think they might be doing a different route where, like, if you're not magically like inclined, then you'll go crazy trying to read it. I think that's a different. I think that's right. Maybe the route they're going. I could be wrong. Maybe the Darkhold does make people evil, but that would explain why Agatha went crazy.
I feel like it would though if the next movie is going to be multiverse of madness or whatever. Like they have madness in the title. It's going to be something about going crazy.
Yeah, but being crazy. I mean, the best part is, we're getting We're getting Mephisto, people. So I was still right. I was still right. I was wrong, but then I was right. Okay.
Oh God, I know for sure.
Yeah, because think.
The rabbit escaped.
Yeah, because think about it real quick, right?
I feel like we're gonna go more cosmic than Mephisto, but I'm not sure yet. It's
Well,
really
right.
Like, or whatever.
We got the answered with Vision, like how Vision came about being a part of the Mind Stone, which like a piece of the Mind Stone, which gave him a soul. But it didn't explain why. Yeah, like what was it called? The kids, if they didn't have a soul, would have been meatless husks, like how Diego mentioned.
Yeah.
So where did the souls come from? Mephisto.
That's what I thought. I'm like, well, he has to if they're gonna do twins, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and also it's a great way to like, they're gone and a great way to bring them back and then to do more Young Avengers stuff, of course.
I am really excited for Halloween this year though too. I'm really because I want to dress up as Billy so badly.
Really?
I think that was gonna be Wanda.
Is even the men. Even the men.
God, I cannot wait.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm excited because like, is she also? Because I know she was filming Doctor Strange, like or like recently. I don't know if she's also in No Way Home with Spider-Man. Is she or no?
I don't know how they would
not
fit her in with
Peter. She it's a few days ago. She was on a thing for Fallon, and she's still in England filming Doctor Strange.
Okay.
But
I know they did see the twins being filmed in England or something like that.
Is it the same actors or different ones?
The same kids?
Same kids, yeah.
Oh,
I bet I would hope they'll age them up by the time the movie ends.
They'll probably age themselves.
They'll age them up when they're ready for New Avengers.
But here's the thing, though. Do you think they're gonna be aged up, or are they gonna be like, the kids will like die or whatever, and then be reincarnated like in the fucking comic?
Stop.
Being reincarnated by be reincarnated with two different families, but they look exactly the same. Like,
let's put Tommy in prison while we're at it, and then
exactly. But yeah, I mean, because I think it's gonna go down like so. This happened with this post-credit scene, and Spider-Man. The multiverse is gonna break open. We have the other versions of Spider-Man that are come through without no explanation, and at the end of that movie, post-credit scene, that Wanda did something, or like did something by like trying to save her kids. She broke the multiverse because she kind of stretched it. I'm assuming when she created the hex and all that stuff. Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, I had another theory that was cool. Because remember the Nexus commercial that like Diego mentioned before? You thought was Man Thing. I don't think it's Man Thing. I think that it's alluding that Wanda is a Nexus being.
Yeah, that's an obvious thing.
Because in the comics, Nexus beings have like the ability to like control like the fundamental like elements of the universe, whether it's like reality or whatever. And I think they're implementing Nexus beings.
Because that was very specific.
Yeah, maybe like coming into play at like a future like Avengers like event or just or something. Yeah. But yeah. So I think she's a Nexus being, which is why the Nexus commercial is important.
Yeah, WandaVision was cool.
Yeah, so I guess if anyone has any other theories that they want to mention, I
think you kind of spit them all out.
All right, yeah, word. Also, I thought the fucking the aerospace engineer was gonna be Blue Marvel, but it's not gonna be Blue Marvel because Black men can't have nice things in this world. It would have been awesome if it would have been dope if it was Blue Marvel. Like, come on.
It would have been cool if it was any other character. But you know what? I'm glad it wasn't. Because this is too small of an area to have too big of a character.
True. Yeah, but so I guess we'll just go to final thoughts. So final thoughts on WandaVision, people. Great show, I would say. I watched it with low expectations and was quite surprised. I enjoyed theorizing every week. I thought it was really fun. I enjoyed being right and being wrong. And yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And I honestly think that Elizabeth Olsen will be nominated for an Emmy for this because she did an amazing performance. Amazing performance. So yeah. Anyone else can go.
I was really happy that WandaVision really did break my expectations because I was really weirded out when I saw the 1950s thing.
Yeah.
Really, really, really happy that it turned out to be way more about a character that we have not learned so much about or seen for that matter. So I'm just happy they kind of let one of their characters breathe a little more and kind of just get a little more exposition, I guess. So it was really cool. Plus, Scarlet Witch was in it, and she's really neat. So
I want to read her comic now after watching this, like her series that she did a couple
her
years ago.
Her comics are actually really good.
Yeah. Anyone else want to say anything? We're gonna give her like a rating for this. So, but anyone else want to say thoughts?
Overall, I liked it. I thought the first half was stronger than the second, at least as far as sticking to its like concept. But like I said, overall, I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too. I'm glad they like experimented, and I'm glad, I don't know, there's finally like a woman with dimension right now.
See you.
True.
Like I said at the beginning of the series, I am very happy that Marvel Studios has decided to experiment, like you said, dabbling into genres that they can't do with the movies. Mm-hmm. And overall, I will say what I said at the beginning of the first set of episodes podcast review. I am very happy with how they did it. I am happy with it was a brave route they took with this series, and I'm very happy that they are expanding their genre from science fiction to hopefully supernatural, and I hope they keep it that way because it's always nice to expand and draw in new crowds, and I hope and I hope it's something that they continue to do in the future. But overall, it was a very fun 9-episode series, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Good word. So I would give this show a 9 out of 10. I think it was good. 9.5. I can't really decide, but 9. I think the Ralph Boner thing is putting it more at a 9 for me. Yeah, so 9 for me.
I give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay. I give it an 8 out of 10 too.
I'd say a 7 or an 8 for me.
8.5. I just wish they did more supernatural stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that.
This show kind of like paved the way for like how the other MCU shows are gonna fit in with the MCU as a whole. Because as I also said with Alec as well, that like they're gonna. Feige said during the TCA conference that you can watch the shows and the movies and not separately and not get confused. So like, it's kind of interesting how they're gonna go that route. Yeah, and also focusing more on the supernatural, because this gets me excited for like Blade and like Doctor Strange and like Moon Knight and all that stuff. So, yeah. But word. No one else has anything to say? No one? All right, cool. So yeah, that's it. Basically, thanks for people who are watching and will watch this. We have a 2-week period until Falcon and Winter Soldier comes out. The show I was highly anticipating. And we were
Patriot, I think.
Oh, dude, we better get fucking Patriot and Eli Bradley. I swear to God. If we don't, Marvel's racist. They're racist. Yeah, we're gonna be talking Winter Soldier on the that comes out on the 19th, and we're also splitting it in half like this one. So we'll do 3 episodes first, and then do 3 episodes when the show wraps. But yeah, this was good stuff. Thanks y'all for coming and having this discussion. I enjoyed it.
For sure.
Or you say you're welcome.
You're welcome.
We break the spell now that
And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one. All right.